Record. Multiple speaker. People should be on. Why? Why can anybody see me, hear me? What is going on? Oh, okay. In the chat, you guys can see me. Why can't I see anybody? Oh, your camera's off. Okay. But I usually see like, let me see if it's the view I'm doing. View, immerse. Let's see that. No, I don't know what the hell that is. Usually it'll show each box. Oh, there's Britt. Uh,
Hi.
hey, I was just someone else was on and I couldn't see her, but I usually can have like a multiple view thing. I don't see that right now. I forgot what it was called. Oh, view, multiple speaker, immersive. No, it's not immersive. I think it's gallery. All right, speaker. All right, there we go. Oh, and yeah, did you see the message I sent you last, Britt?
I did.
Yeah. Wrong time. Well, no, yeah, you put wrong time, right link. I was like, bro, you have to triple check these things. Like, it is not like open to everybody. I even went up and put it in my stories on IG, even though people from the free community can see it, but whatever. They're not gonna be able to be part of the challenge. Okay, so what I want to do for this call and the next call when we get everybody on, because I'm gonna record these and send them to everybody, is do a like an upsell challenge. So I guess the first most important thing, you can send me whoever sees this after the meeting can just message me on Hairlikeaboss and tell me your average weekly meeting, or give me a projection of what you will be doing this week. Everybody should be able. Brett, have you been still doing like projections and seeing like your average weekly? Okay. So what I want is everybody to send me their projected number for what they should earn this week. And that obviously that's the given based on if everybody stays and nobody cancels or has to reschedule. So that's just we're going off of who's booked now. And then based off that, ideally try to earn an extra like 300 to 400 from upselling. Upselling every client every time in the terms of anything that could be like a $30 to $50 add-on, because usually those add-ons are those add-ons that you can do within 20 to 30 minutes that doesn't affect your scheduling and that client scheduling. Um, Trying to upsell like a partial to a full, probably you don't have time for that, nor does the client want book for that. So for example, if a client comes in for a partial highlight or a full highlight, but you don't have a haircut added on or included, or like a strengthening treatment added or included. So that a haircut can be, and then based on your numbers, you could do a full haircut, or it could just make an add-on since you're already here type thing. So instead of like a standalone haircut being, hopefully everybody here is around $50 plus for haircut. So you can just do it as an add-on. Also a conditioning treatment. Um, Most tend to be, if they're standalone, I don't know, for maybe $30 to $60, depending on the treatment, depending on the length. But you could do these things as like since you're here type price. But that will add on. If you added both on, obviously, we're here today, seeing that we're going lighter and the summer's coming up. I would recommend either doing some type of strengthening treatment or definitely a trim for this hair for the on your hair just to get your the growth kicking in for summer.
I have a
This
question
one,
real quick.
yeah, go ahead.
So, so I book for time, not
Yeah.
necessarily for service. So if I'm
Okay.
not really extending their time, right? Like,
You
how
would be
do
extending
I?
your time. You would.
Okay.
Because a
Okay.
haircut, like again, if we do the haircut, what's the haircut going to be?
I mean, and not necessarily for the haircut specifically. Like, I
Okay.
was thinking of like a blow dry to add on a treatment. Like, how do
Okay.
I get that number in my head to like add on?
This could be like you can say so. Could be something you could say. Like we don't have you down for starting the treatment, but I definitely recommend it. Since you're already here, it would just be an additional 35 instead of the normal 60.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So it's like right. It's obviously they're hearing a deal and they're already there for the treatment, so you don't have to really like figure that in, and they feel like they're getting a deal on it.
Yeah. Okay.
And to you, a treatment doesn't take that long. Yeah, I totally took a shitter over my fucking treadmill. I'm not gonna lie. I keep looking at my leg. I was trying to get around my treadmill without unplugging it because my plug for the treadmill is like it sits higher. So I was like trying to go over, but then I put my hand. It is down right now.
No. No.
That's so embarrassing. And it was probably 3 minutes before I had to get on this live. But yeah, so that, again, you can, for example, and this is like where it's helped. How I get on calls, you guys, and I want to know like what your profit is for the day. So I had one girl who was supposed to be, she would based on a projection, she was going to go negative for the day. I think it was like 50 something dollars. So obviously we never want to go negative. So she did upsells and she ended up going positive 80 something for the day. So again, and that was only, I think that was like her second phone call with me. So she just started being more on it, once she was aware of like, her profit margins and where she stood at the end of each day. But then again, we have other ones that like again, you should be. I don't know if you're there, but do you have at a point where like what profit you want to be earning? Like you do projections and you see that you're at like you're probably more than this, but like let's just say $400 profit for the week. Are you still doing that?
I am still doing that. I
Okay,
mean,
great.
just because of like where I feel like everything is right now, there my numbers are definitely different every single week. So I can't
Yeah,
even like
of course.
assume. Yeah, so I'm definitely in a place of taking the time to look at what my projection is. I haven't considered this like while somebody's in
Yeah,
there already add
it's
on.
huge,
Yeah, because I
and you
do
can
have more
pre-plan
time.
them. Like for example, and you haven't worked this week yet, right?
No, I go in
I'll just
tomorrow.
use like as if we're doing a one-on-one. Okay, so you haven't worked this week. Do you know your numbers for this week? Like, could you tell me right now how much you're profiting?
Yes, so let me
Okay,
just
good.
pull it up because I'm
Good job. I'm glad you're keeping up with it. It's like the number one
so
thing to keep up, but it's the number one thing I feel like people overlook. And I'm like, it's your money.
right. Yeah, I mean
If
it's
anything, I don't care about content. I care about your money more than anything.
yeah, that's the thing is I'm really not the best at my content, but I
You're doing
do definitely
great. Girl, what do you mean you're having so much fun? You're doing so great. And you tell me your clients are coming in expecting videos.
they are, but it's definitely hard for me. Like it's never gotten easier for me.
Wow.
So right now, as I have this week projected, so I am projected to bring in 2660 this week.
Okay.
And 950 of that is considered profit for me.
Okay, cool. Great. So we'll probably be able to add on another 300. Now how much on time? Yeah, I'll do the full breakdown. Do you have you're working tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's do this. What do you have for client number one? What is she getting?
So actually, client number one tomorrow is a blonding model.
Okay. So
So my
no money.
intention is to just get her to come back to me after
Okay.
today.
Okay.
After that, my
Okay, so
second,
while we have you there, because it's gonna be recorded, how's that going with you? Are you still doing the models? Because I remember when we started, you had a big hit on that one model and she did great things for you? As now, are you just doing another model, or have you been doing consistently still?
I try and consistently bring in one model a month.
Oh, good. And how's that been
Um,
working?
Sometimes it just doesn't, like nobody grabs at it. This month I'm doing two because last month I didn't do any.
Mm-hmm.
But this
Kind of
month
build
they're
with it.
both blonding models. I'm trying to bring in more of a low maintenance clientele instead of a like high vivid clientele just because I
For
think of
sure.
where the economy is.
Yep.
Um, but yeah, I still try and bring in a model. Now, tomorrow, both of the people that I'm bringing in, they're completely out of my element. They're not even in, like, they're in PA. So they're
Okay.
going to commute to come see me. They're both virgin heads.
Oh, great.
Yeah. So they both explained to me that they don't like high maintenance. Obviously, they're natural headed people, but they don't have a person. So it's the perfect opportunity for them to come back to me, even if it's every 6 months.
Yeah. Okay, good. Do you have them doing like any content while like come get with my hair done with me or anything like that?
I actually haven't, but maybe I should send them a message. I mean, my
Yeah.
girl's coming in tomorrow. So, like, I have her totally prepared to do content with me. That's the whole point. I also have her prepared to be with me for at least 6 hours.
Yeah. Because
Uh,
so before you do this, you should try to like have them send you three videos or at least two, but 2 to 3 videos like content types that's organic to their platform, like come get my hair done with me, mommy makeover, like whatever these things are. Just so when they post their feed, it doesn't look like off, like off brand for them. So it could be more organic. It'll do better. But you
okay.
should definitely before them coming in, you should definitely have like 2 videos for sure that you want to do, especially like talking about how you do model calls. Because who knows, like people can hit you up and do a model call, and like I said, the trick to do is put out a model call, actually get a model if that's what you're intending to do. But then when people hit you up say, no, I already found my model, but I am offering this promo. Usually it's a $350 promo and I'm doing it for 200. If you're interested, let me know. I have 5 spots open. So it goes from a freebie to a sale.
Okay.
That's what I used to do. I don't know. Maybe we didn't talk about that, or maybe I did. But when I was growing and I just put on a model call, I was looking for models. I was doing this, but I had so many people hit me up that I was doing like a balayage. It was like I would put like $300, but if people hit me up and I was still trying to grow, I'd be like, I'll do it for 175. So they were already wanting to come to me, and they were like, all right, cool, yeah, I'll book it. So I ended up getting like honestly 4 new clients every time I did a model call, but I also did the model. The model also was a targeted person I wanted to do, and then she brought me more clients. So, this really, how it works. It worked for you probably with that first girl that I remember.
Yeah, and then I know we talked about this like a few months back. I did do a referral program. And it's called the Joint Effort. It's in tiered systems. And like I give if I do a model, I give them five of those
Yeah.
cards so that
Yep.
when they return, if they return, that person is almost never paying for their hair.
Yeah, which is great because they're bringing
Yeah.
you new people all the time, and new people are around new people to you, and new people to you are new customers to you. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And
All right, so
sadly, new
I got
people work.
off topic. We got off topic. I want to go over these number things. I want to put this into action. Okay, here's the green one. Okay, so the model call doesn't matter, no money. All right, so do Tuesday.
My 2 o'clock is booked for 2 hours. They are bringing me 260.
All right, what are they booked for? Because that's what we're. Do you know what they're booked
Okay.
for?
They're booked for a touch up, a vivid overlay, and a barbering haircut. They're a
So
man.
haircut. So
Yeah.
you could do an upsell on a conditioning treatment to like seal and lock in the color.
Okay.
Gives it long, protects the hair, but also gives longevity on the color and seals it in. Um, what do you have for treatments that you could do for that? Like, are you really booked something that's like 15 to 20 minutes?
No, I definitely have a small gap in between them and my next. The only thing that I feel that is difficult, like it is a male client, he has very short hair.
Yeah. So then
So,
$20, even it's $20. So like, we could do this conditioning treatment. It's really to, close the cuticle, seal it in, especially with Vivid. You want to like close the cuticle as much as possible within the first 24 hours to lock that color in. It's going to take about 15 minutes. Usually I do this for $45. I'll do it for $20 for you. Okay, sure.
okay.
Because now they're getting a value and they're investing a little bit more into the longevity of their color.
So
And
now
it,
specifically, would you say, because like I have obviously your K18, but then I also have just like moisture treatments, like um, just like a ever extra heavy thick conditioner. Now I've never used K18 with him. Would this be an opportunity to talk about it with him, or do you feel like it's not
Yeah,
necessary?
yeah, you could do that. I mean, if they have the second part, like if they have you know what I was thinking of, like B3, B3 has a good like number two, for that type of situation. But if K18 has one that is, yeah, they're amino based, right? No, peptide
Yeah,
based.
peptide.
You could. Is it like a cream or is it spray? I wouldn't do it if it was a spray.
So K18 has their peptide spray, but then they have their molecular mask that you do for the second step.
Yeah, do that then. Just do that.
Okay.
And you can say, you can introduce it, say like, hey, we can use K18 as this first step. I know we don't have you booked for conditioning treatment, but this would really help as a step number two after we're done bleaching your hair, and coloring it to close the cuticle for both the health of your hair, scalp, and longevity of the color, because it will really help close the cuticle. Usually this is, a $45 value, or I usually charge $45 for it, but I'll do it for 20 and it'll only be like an extra 15 minutes.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Okay. So you can
Yes.
add 20 to him, let's say 20. And then the next client.
My next client is booked for 3 hours. She is a half head blonding, a glaze, K18, and then a haircut.
Okay. So she gets the works.
She gets the works.
Okay. Then never mind. You can't really add anything on her.
Yeah, she's not really any, unless she was like, she is my last client of the day for whatever reason, if she wanted to do a full blonding. I will toss
Yeah.
it up and see because she is
Okay.
my last client, but
Yep. Yeah, even if you have like a certain number of foils that you can do as a certain add-on. So even if you did a partial, like I work with a lot of hairstylists, I'm finding that like do partials that take almost the same amount of time as their fulls, and the price difference between their partial and a full is too close. It's like literally $30 close to each other. And I'm like, it's like when
yeah.
clients think of half, they're thinking of half. And then the purchasing mindset is like, oh, it should be half the price because it's half the
Right.
work. And really, it is. So even if you came up with a game plan, or anybody who's watching this, where you have a partial, but then if you have time, really, if you have time yet, because it takes your time, but if you have time to do it, maybe it's an additional 20 foils. Like how, depending how fast you are, 20 foils can be an added value of like, I don't know what, 30, $45, right? I don't know what it would be. It would have to make sense for you based on how long it takes you to foil. Or it could be $50, whatever it is, and you could say, I have time today. I don't know if you're interested, but we can like make more of an impact through bonding. I can do, my mini express, which is an additional 50 foils or whatever the amount of foils would be, for a certain price. Instead of doing a
Okay.
full head, we could do this. And then boom, you got them there. Because now think about it, you added that on, you're making more money, but she's not going to want to downgrade. If she's a partial or always gotten a partial, but now she sees that a lot more color, she's not going to want less color.
Right.
So now, next time she goes to book, you'd be like, okay, we did book partial before, but remember we added in like, mini express, which added those 50 foils, basically full out of highlight. So if you want to maintain and keep that look, we're going to be booking for a full. Boom, you just went from a partial to a full client.
Okay.
See what I'm saying?
Right.
So yeah, that's anybody. Just again, it's very important to just think of different ways that you can add on things that justify your price and the time that you're spending on that, and allows you to in the future to go up. So yes, you're actually making more at that service, and you'll be making more next time they come in because now they're not a lower tier client. Okay, so we're not going to count her because we don't know if it's going to happen. Like basically, she's the full package. All right. So do you have three clients? No, you probably don't. Right, two clients.
That day. Then Thursday would be my next full day in the salon.
Okay, what's Thursday look like?
Thursday, I have a so the underneath of her hair is already a vivid. We're bringing up her roots on that underneath, reapplying a vivid, and then doing a full haircut.
Okay, haircut. So conditioning treatment.
I can add on a conditioning treatment here.
Okay, cool. So we'll just say that again. That's $20, and we're just saying $20. Whatever makes sense for you. You know what I mean? Like, what do you ever charge? Do
I
like a
normally charge 45.
yeah. Then there you go. $20, like a no brainer to them because it's more than half off. But takes you 15 minutes and probably $2 in product, maybe three.
Right, right.
All right, just go down the list. Like if you know what I'm gonna say now, just tell me I could add on this or this, and I could add on this or this.
Okay, so
You know what I mean?
Taylor is a touch-up glaze haircut, so I'm gonna add on a treatment for her.
Okay.
And then I have a little gap, and then Cassandra's my last. She is a partial blonding glaze haircut. So I may do both. I may add on more blonding, like you said, mini
Yeah.
express foil,
Okay.
but also definitely going to talk to her about a treatment.
Cool. And then you have what, Friday and Saturday left?
Yes. Friday, I have a full head blonding. She's also in for K18
The works.
glaze and a haircut. So there's not much room there.
Okay.
And then my client after her is just a haircut, and she's always just a haircut. So maybe
Okay.
I could talk to her about a treatment or,
Even if you like, so you can do strengthening treatments, you can do like dry scalp treatments. A lot of people don't like that. You can, go over anything coming out of the winter. Uh, you know, you just make it a regular conversation. Like, how's everything with like, do you notice that you have any dry scalp, itchy scalp, dryness of hair? Think of like products that you have. Like, think of three tiers.
yes.
Like, this is for the rest of your, career. Think of three different tiers of on scalp in sync situations that can bring you a minimum of $20 that take no more than 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah. I'm going to
So when
actually,
like
I have a
one,
scalp treatment. So I'm going to
yeah.
talk to
So
Christina
again,
about that.
yeah, when a strengthening treatment doesn't fit every single client, but like maybe two other types do.
Right. Yeah. I do have stuff for the dry scalp individual. So she would actually be a good person for that.
Okay, cool.
And then my Saturday, I have, yep, I have a blonde, a full blonding, has a treatment, glaze, and a haircut. So she's your full Mac Daddy. And then my client after her, touch up glaze, haircut. And I want to talk to her about like a color locking treatment.
Perfect. So maybe $20 for her.
Yeah, another 20. And then after her is just a men's cut.
Okay. And that was Saturday.
And that's my Saturday. Yep.
Okay, so potentially 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. So potentially 120. But if you got the additional 50s, that's 220. So with just the add-ons for the conditioning treatments that you expect to do is 120. And if you add on the mini express, depending on what you want to do for those prices, just for the highlights, I didn't include I guess you could say 70 times. So yeah, it's still be the same amount. So 50 and 50, yeah. So potentially 120 or 220, more or less.
Yep.
On top of so we'll just go with the 120. So 0, 7, 1,000. So 1,070 if you got to do all the conditioning treatments, and obviously more if you do the highlights, but can't count those in.
Right.
But it's good. I mean, again, even now 950, it's profit. That's after all your bills are paid.
Right.
And Yeah, just I would say anybody, everybody who's watching this, just think of ways you could do this, and just make sure you're always keeping up with like your pricing. Again, if you have to price adjust yourself, I don't think you do, but look at also you should be happy with the fact that like you are, for the most part, maxing out every client.
Trying my best, that's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, really, we only have. I usually we when I talk to somebody, I can usually add on usually $300 in a week. So the fact that you can't, which is good, you know what I mean? But then again, to see these numbers and know that you can't go up, there's also, do you go price increase? You know what I mean? Or push your clients up? Because again, if you're booked out, is this a normal week to you?
It's pretty average. I mean, I have two gaps in this week where I could do color services that I
Okay,
just
so
don't have
again, yeah,
filled.
that's a good point. Is that it's, yeah, Sunday, Monday, today being Monday, recognizing like again, if you had a goal in your head, like every week $1,000, first step is to do your projection, see what your number is. Are we hitting 1,000? No. Why not? What's booked? Okay, that's now I know why. I have three spots open that I normally don't. Let's fill those spots over whatever. Like again, if you did not this week, but next week's projections today, you have all week to sell those three spots for next week. When I say sell, get those
Right.
spots filled. But it's good, because again, the projection allows you to know where you stand for your profit. Again, if you're like, oh no, I want to always be at 1,000, you would recognize yourself at 950 and go, okay, so are we upselling? We're upselling everybody, and how why am I only at 950 for whatever reason? You know what I mean? And there's going to be off weeks for sure, but if you're always doing this stuff, like if you're doing these numbers today for next week, not today for this week, you're 5, 6 days ahead of those being your actual numbers.
Cool, cool, cool.
But yeah, those numbers are good. Have you noticed that your profit's been going up, staying the same, or like where do you think that you're struggling with now? Anything with money wise? Because $1,000 a week where you live on your own. Like I work with a couple stylists, but they live at home. And they're getting $1,000 a week, but yeah, $1,000 a week profit, but that's a whole different ballgame.
Right. I
Not
mean,
just
I feel good about it because, yeah, like everybody is definitely in a stress point. I do, like, just for frame of reference, last week I only worked 2 days. I went to Massachusetts for a hair thing this weekend. Um, so I only had a $700 week.
yeah,
But still in that time, I wasn't necessarily good about what I did for those 2 days. But 9 times out of 10, I'm still feeling good about my profit projections.
yeah,
The thing that I'm really kind of locking in the most is like I don't have a ton of men, but I still have a decent amount of men, and they're really like taking up space and not
yeah.
maximizing space. So that's kind of what I have to figure out. Do I just price them outside of a point that's reasonable? Um,
What are you at now?
They're at $42 and I'm with them for 15 minutes. Like if they're not getting
So, all right.
color,
So, why do you start? Have you started the day, or have you tried the day where I say only book them on like a Tuesday, your slow day, whatever you want your slow day to be? Book them all on a Tuesday. It doesn't matter if you can't get a Tuesday, you can't get a Tuesday. But that's where I'm booking all my men to get them all out of the way, so they don't put your weird spots.
yeah, that's what I should do. I just don't know what day that is that makes the most sense for my men to get in, because it's never like,
Yeah, but not for them, for you. It doesn't matter.
yeah,
You're trying to get rid of them, so it's you.
I'm trying to get rid.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't, it's not that I don't enjoy them, it's just it's not maximizing my dollar.
Yeah. Yeah, no, no. I tell everybody I work with them. I'm sure I told you. Try to figure out that day to put all your haircuts into great coverage in one day. Bang them all out, and if they're willing, you only got two ways to get rid of them: go up to a price that they're not willing to pay, or make it more inconvenient for them. If you're not just willing to say, hey, moving forward, June 1st, I'm no longer taking these type of clients. Like there's two ways, going up like three ways: inconvenience scheduling, pricing that they don't want to pay, or just straight up telling them like you're in a category that I'm no longer taking. You're great coverage. If you want to go to a partial highlight or a full head highlight, I'll still do your gray coverage. Cool, I'll keep you. But based on me trying to maximize my time and my profit behind the chair, your service doesn't cater to me.
Do you think raising it to $50 is insane on top of that?
Nope.
Okay.
But I would still raise it to 50 and make it be Tuesdays.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, that's it. So everybody who's watching this video, I just want you to DM me as soon as possible with what Britt and I just did, with your projected number, and then you could do your own breakdown of what you could do as upsell. So tell me two numbers: what your profit should be this coming week, and what it would look like with upsells that you can do on potential clients. And then everybody will try to meet again next week thoroughly. I will check the email before it goes out. Thought it was very adamant about like, bro, we have to fix this fucking thing because there's an issue. And then there was still an issue. I don't know. And then we'll start that, and then we'll try to do like an upsell challenge where we have like a number one winner. And then I'll give you guys the winner an extra, like a free complimentary month, like 4 calls. Okay. If anybody has questions, DM me after seeing this video, or DM me for anything.
Or DM me for anything.
Yeah, basically. All right, Britt. Nice seeing you.
Thank you.
I'm glad you're doing well.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Later.